do you get when you get all of the spice? Hmm. Huh. Only two people lurking. Only two people lurking. Oh, you gotta lurk, guys. You can come talk to me. Am I scary? Do I smell bad? Do I do I rancid smell of death? Because if I do, you can tell me. It's not that much of an insult if I do. It just means I need to take better care of my physical health. And don't worry, I've done a life hack. I made sure that I could see both my Twitch chat and my YouTube multi stream. So like, you don't have to feel left out if you're on one or the other. And that way I could see the rewards being done for my Twitch boys and girls and non-binary pals. Because I've probably been neglecting you guys, and you probably feel like I've been a bad boss or a bad person, and that's fair. Shit. There we go. I don't know. I feel like I've just been a bad person, and like I've lost everything and such. Because like we don't talk anymore. We don't hang out, and I feel like it's my fault, and I don't know what to do about it. Hey, Aramis. Thank you for doing your job, buddy. Appreciate you. It's a very sleepy day. Yeah, I've been feeling it personally. Felt really unmotivated today. And like I know everyone's busy. I know it's a Thursday, and lots of people got lots of stuff going on Thursdays, and you just never know. And like everybody's not around, and it's just lonely. It's looking good. It's barely even started yet. I'm just getting a layer put on it so that way I don't have to like go across his fucking um uh detailing because I want him to look like this. I meant the paint scheme. Ah, but yeah, it's lonely. I feel really lonely lately, and I don't know what to do about it. Seems everybody's busy tonight. I found music. It's safe and I won't get copyrighted. Any new lore stories? Not so much as I know right now. 40K has done a thing where they are not putting the lore in the codexes anymore. They just give you the units, like, they just give you, like, army descriptions and stuff, but they aren't telling you what that army's been up to, lore-wise, with the new books and such, and it's been kind of frustrating. Especially for us lore nerds who want to know, but we don't get to know because now we have to buy the overpriced books. Plus, been poor, so like... How's Warhammer 3 been? Haven't been able to play it because for the last 3 days, the game has tried to update, and then it would die, and then the update wouldn't do anything. It would die, it would crash, and then it would have to reinstall the update. It would repeat process until the third time I had to redo it, is that the clock wouldn't stop counting up. I left it alone for a day, and the clock wouldn't stop counting up. So then I had to go, uninstall the whole game, reinstall the whole game with all the updates.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine my fucking pain and shock. Also, hi.
Hello. I think it'd be easier if we could just quiet chat, you know?
That depends if more than 4 people want to come to the stream tonight. My stream's been rather lacking lately in viewer count, and I can't tell if that's just because people are busy or I'm fucking boring.
You are not boring, and everybody's life is very hectic. It always is at this point in the year. At least in my case, I know that this time of year is always trash for me.
I see some other people are just like playing Risk of Rain 2.
I was about to say, like, I see a lot of people playing that, but I also know Elden Ring is out too, so it's like, is Risk of Rain that good?
I would know. I have never played it. You'd have to ask Emerald.
We'll have to find an Emerald to talk.
She's in her server right now playing, guess what? Risk of Rain 2.
We will have to go and find. Have you made any more progress on Bonk for Elden Ring?
I have, but I'm not going to stream Elden Ring because I suck at it. And it just... There's so much negative space in Elden Ring that it can get really, really boring. For, like, average watchers. Because, like... I realized
Memory?
I realized too late that I was building my character wrong. Because when you are doing a character in Elden Ring, it's not a sense of, oh, you just go and do it. No, you have to plan this shit. You gotta know the arts that you want to use. You got to know the class you're going into. You gotta understand what's going on around you. And the most optimal way to grind for your character. Because if any of those things are lacking, you're in trouble. Like, I am just now starting to be able to fight things that I wasn't able to.
That's interesting. That's a lot of forethought, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so my friend helped me,
Figure out what you need to figure out.
Yeah, he basically, sat me down and was like, hey, dumbass, this is what you gotta do. First, we gotta get you a like that massive ass guts sword from Berserk. We're gonna get you that. Then,
oh, the giant
we're gonna upgrade this shit to as much as you can get it right now. I'm at plus 11 for my greatsword.
Oh, that's nice.
Out of 25.
Dang, that's how much effort you can put into one. Wow.
Yep. We also put in Frost Stomp, along with a heavy build into it. Frost Stomp spreads out a cone of frost up to a certain point, and anything caught in that frost takes immediate cold damage and starts building up frost very fast if you're staying in it. Even if you are above,
Okay,
like if you
so
jumped,
it's very good for...
if you jumped above it, it still counts as you are in its hitbox.
Oh, that's nice.
So what ends up happening is that I come across a group of enemies, like say 6 of them. They look at me and say, "I want to tap that booty." I respond with, "You ain't touching shit." Stomp the ground, and ground is frozen, and all those enemies get frostbitten. If they do not immediately die from the frostbite, they take double damage from any source.
Oh, that's nasty, actually.
And I am a strong bonk build. So now I am going from 400 damage to 800 damage a swing.
So you're pretty much cleaving through everything in that area.
Pretty much.
That's a pretty sweet build, I'm not gonna lie.
It's the standard bonk build. It's been in every Souls board game.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get it until my roommate gets it as well, so then we can help each other in the early levels, because I'm planning to do a magic build.
Oh, magic in that game is busted. If you can, if you're going for a spellcaster build, beeline it for Black Flame.
You line it for Black Flame?
Black Flame is fire magic that does lasting fire damage.
Lasting fire damage.
So, like, it'll keep burning the enemy even while, like, the flame effects are gone.
Ooh, sounds useful, actually.
You find it in a village where these creepy dancing women are worshipping a guy that skinned someone alive.
Okay, again, why, Soulsborne? Why do you always have to go the extra mile to make it creepy?
Because George R.R. Martin wrote this one.
Ah, there it is.
And there's the twist. I'm pretty sure it's people being busy that and the existential dread of a possible World War III on the horizon. World War III is not going to happen. You know why? Because either Putin's going to get his brains blown out from his
own cabinet.
his own cabinet being sick of his shit, or the Russian people overthrowing him. And here's why. The U.S. is too chicken shit to do anything about it, and to be fair, I would be too.
Yeah.
Putin is not exactly a sane person. Actually, no, he's not. It's not a matter of he's not exactly. It's a matter of he's fucking insane, and if he doesn't get his way, he's the petulant little incel man-child that pisses himself and whines when something isn't going his way. The difference is between that child and him is that he's got nukes on his side. Now, granted, everyone's thinking like, oh, he just has the nuke button underneath his desk, and if he pushes it, we're all fucked. No, that's not how that works.
Nuclear retaliation is a fuck one.
Well, it's not just that. It's an entire system. It has to go through the ranks, and there's enough people along those ranks who are like, it's not worth ending the world over this.
Yeah.
Remember, there was a man back during the USSR days where their satellites fucked up without them knowing it and thought heavy sunspot activity was nukes being launched. And all of the Russian...
I remember that story.
All the Russian military went, oh my god, America's launched nukes, we need to fire ours back. And this guy said, no. If a nuke hits Moscow, we still have 10 minutes to launch all of ours. So unless Moscow is burning to the fucking ground, we do not launch. And guess what? We're all still here today. Wasn't burning, wasn't destroyed. It was just fuck up with technology.
Gotta love those.
And as well, the Russian war machine is proving day by day that they have nothing to show the world anymore. They have standard statistics of a U.S. statistics right now on the situation have found that Russia in the first 2 weeks of engagement lost 5,000 to 6,000 troops. That is more than D-Day. That is more than the war in Vietnam. There is no way Russia can sustain this war. Now, are we going to be feeling the effects of all the sanctions and everything? Oh, yeah, but
definitely.
Here's something in retrospect. You can always just fill up a half tank of gas. Yeah, you're paying like $5 a gallon, Alan, but maybe you should have been economically smarter and not chosen a fucking pickup truck. Because guess what? You're not the one paying for that. Also, we should be putting pressure on gas companies to not raise their prices right now, because they're fucking doing that. And even in my own province, we got rid of the 13 cents tax on gas. And guess what the oil companies did immediately after my fucking premiere did that?
They immediately hiked prices.
They immediately hiked the prices up by $1. I want to hear fuck all that your politicians have anything to do with gas prices. I want to hear fuck all about it.
They don't.
My premier did that entirely in the stupid hope that the fucking gas companies would not raise their prices. No, they're going to do it because they're a corporation. They don't care.
Money made.
If it makes them money, they're gonna fucking do it. You got rid of the incentive that kept the price low.
That's the thing. Most people don't seem to understand that incentives rely on a level of honesty that most corporations do not operate with.
Yeah, so You got every fucking conservative I know shut up real fucking quick when he did that.
Eh.
Sorry, that's just me ranting.
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to rage about. And
But-
we're having the same issue here down in the U.S.
Oh no, we're every problem that happens in the US comes to bite us in the ass all the time. Because we are neighbors. We are intrinsically linked together. What happens to you guys down in the States happens to us here up here in Canada. I want to be positive about it and believe that someone will be in the way of a nuke going off. We just went through 10 years of people fighting over doing a basic thing.
I mean, it's only 3 years, but yes, it definitely feels like it's been a decade.
Oh, Prof. Okay. Prof, and to my audience, I know that, like, you're not all here, but I know that some of you do come back and watch these streams. I need to make this abundantly clear to you. Everything seems hopeless now. These racist, transphobic, homophobic bigots that have gotten in office because of a scared, dying out group and ideology is going away, and this is its last vestiges of it freaking the fuck out. If you have been paying attention to what's going on in Florida and Texas, a judge is now presiding over whether they should block this legislation in Texas. Because not only does it actually go against your HIPAA rights, because it's the government going to your doctor and saying, hand it over, which doctors cannot do. It is against your guys' constitution. And the fact that every high school in Florida has done a major walkout, where 75 to 85% of their students have left the building in protest of the Don't Say Gay bill and everything else. Do not lose hope in humanity over the actions of a bitter, dying group. They are dying out, and when they are gone, they will be unremembered. They will be left to dust. I promise you that. These people like Ben Shapiro, people like Donald J. Trump, people like Putin, they will die miserable old fucks with nothing left to them. I promise you that. Because they cannot sustain themselves. They are either grifting way too fucking hard to a base that will kill itself because you are never pure enough for them. So it will all come down to them stepping on each other to try and get ahead. Or they will die of old age because they are already old fucks right on the verge of death's door. They will not survive. The only reason you are not hearing about all this good stuff that is happening is because the war in Ukraine is such a devastating thing, and it's all the news cycle can talk about. And that's understandable.
It gives them their ratings.
It gives them their ratings, but it's also a developing situation where lots of people are in trouble right now. Now, it is very easy to doom spiral. It is extremely easy to doom spiral. But you cannot allow yourself to doom spiral. I know it is tough. I know it is hard. If you need to personally remove yourself from the internet or any source of media that isn't just TV shows and such, or like just playing a game like on your GameCube, on your Xbox, whatever, do it. Take time to yourself. Do what you need to do to feel like you have some semblance of control in your life, and that way you can recharge and come back. It is not a hopeless situation. And yes, that is putting incentive on you to take care of yourself, which is a very hard thing for people to do. A lot of people are just, they don't know how to take care of themselves mentally and emotionally, and that's okay. No
Depression,
one.
hooray. Depression, hooray.
Yeah. You just need to do what makes you happy right now. And yes, it is a tragedy what's happening in Ukraine. It is shitty what's happening to them. They don't deserve it. But they are fighting back hard. They are pushing back. Major offensive. They are making Russia bleed for every centimeter they take. And yeah, this is a madman's last-ditch attempt to try and be something he never was.
Well said. Very well said.
Ah. And I'm not perfect either. I do doom spiral myself. The world is a scary place, but it is also, and it can be, a very beautiful one as well. We just need to take the energy to find that good. Yes, the world is gray, but we need to make a conscious decision to not just look at the bleak, but look at the bright.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to start figuring out ways how to not only get people out there to vote, no matter how hard are these cheating little bastards. And by the way, yes, I am calling the right wing of politics a bunch of fucking cheaters, because last time I checked, it wasn't the left that was trying to rig elections now, was it? In fact, just yesterday, a GOP senator was indicted on federal charges for trying to rig the election.
Finally.
And yes, she's not dropping out. She says she refuses to drop out because this is a politically motivated attack, which it's not. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Involved in suddenly political.
They are getting caught.
We'll get him slowly.
They will be brought to justice. I promise everyone that. The younger generations that are coming are going to be very active. They're going to be very in everyone's face about it, because we've had enough. We've both emotionally, mentally, and physically, they've had enough. They're called lazy by adults. They're called pieces of shit by adults. And, like, they listen to people like Ben Shapiro insult them daily for just being who they are. And, like, the Joe Rogan experience, where, like, they listen to their parents parrot, like, bullshit, insane garbage from a man that has no business talking about it.
Yep.
And, by the way, the statement of, oh, we're just asking questions? No, you're not. You're not asking questions. You are propagating bullshit while making it sound like a question. I can do that easily too. Is Joe Rogan a pedophile? I'm just asking. But like he seems to have a lot of people who defend pedophiles on his show. I.e., I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, it's something that they've been up to. It's it'll be an ongoing problem that they've got.
But yeah, do not lose faith. People in general are good. The majority of our populations are vaccinated. These are just the remnants of a dying breed. And when they are gone, they will not be missed.
Mm-hmm.
We're just seeing them kick and scream on the way out the door. Yuck. Ooh. Look at that. That's dried
Ooh.
paint, everybody.
All the paint.
Yep.
So what do you think? That's about a quarter of the bottle?
Nope. That's I have no idea how much that is. Good to throw that out, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't lose faith, guys. I know it's hard. I know it's extremely hard. I know it's hard for my LGBTQ brothers and sisters out there. I know it's hard for all of you. I have the privilege of being a straight white man, and I understand.
Sometimes even that'll get just presented by those idiots.
Pretty much.
I understand.
But if any trans kid or LGBTQ person is watching this clip or anything in the future, you are wanted, you are loved. There is always a family for you. Family is not designated by blood, it is designated by those who will take the time and energy to actually be there for you, take care of you, love you, and keep you in check. Love is not about just letting someone be an asshole. It is about being there for that person and helping them be a better person than who they are.
Mm.
Just lessons I've had to learn growing up.
Time of the month.
Slowly.
Full time.
Huh?
Gotcha full time. Ooh. I'm liking the sword, I'm not gonna lie.
The sword's cool.
Oh yeah, boss. How's the D&D game going?
Which one?
I think it was the one you said you were doing last week. You need to go back and chat to remember which day that was. Oh wait, was it this weekend or last weekend where you had the doubles game?
This weekend.
Your partner for it?
Yep.
Awesome. Sick. What are you gonna be playing?
I'm gonna be playing Iron Warriors with Blood Angels.
Oh! Yeah. Bring my chapter in.
The idea is that I bring the back line of fire. Hi, Shadow! And we're painting. I'm also responding to a stupid fuck on Twitter. I shouldn't be, but I am.
Oh.
Anyway, so the idea is that I hang out in the back line, and I open up with my 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts, and my my Chaos Marines with rocket launchers, because I just have 3 squads of rocket launcher Chaos Space Marines.
Oh, so you're just gonna lay suppressing fire?
Yep, I'm gonna lay down suppressing fire on those unlucky enough to be in my sights, while my partner,
Blood Angels it up?
yep, he's just gonna charge up the line with Death Company and drop pods on top of them.
Yes. Bring the Death Company into it. Oh, it's gonna be ugly. I love that kind of play style, I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, if we do things right, and my list right now is I'm pretty sure it's orcs, but what is your favorite army of all of 40k? Ooh, that's actually
That's a loaded question.
well, no, it's not a loaded question. It's orcs are not my favorite faction. I love orcs. Orcs are great. They were my first faction, but they are not my favorite faction. My favorite faction will always is right now, because I don't know about the future. My favorite faction right now is Ultramarines. Why are Ultramarines my favorite? Because they have one of my favorite characters in them, and that's Robo Guilliman. And I think I've talked about why I like him before, but let's see if I can figure something out here. I like Guilliman because he is a character that is written to be self-reflective. I like him that in the way that he knows. So you love Big Papa Smurf in armor. I like Guilliman as a character. I like the Ultramarines as characters. The Ultramarines, for the longest time, and I used to hate them, by the way. I used to hate the Ultramarines. I thought they were annoying. I thought they were boring, and that was because of the fifth. That was because of 5th edition hate.
Makes sense there.
But when you read their books, when you read their lore, they are much more self-reflective about what's going on than tons of other people in the Warhammer universe. And they are actually... They're not just warriors. Even during the Horus Heresy timeline, so like 30k, Guilliman was trying to get his legion to be able to do stuff even when the Great Crusade ended. So, like, they would be administrators, leaders, what are they called? The people that designed how to build architects.
Architects.
Representatives, other stuff. He was trying to make the Ultramarines not only flexible as a military, but flexible as an average citizen. And still find a use for them outside of war. By the time of the Great Crusade coming to an end, the Ultramarines were not asking themselves of what the hell am I going to do when this war is over. They already knew the answer. All of them knew what they were going to do. They were more individualistic than their fellow counterparts. The Ultramarines Legion, the largest legion, was ironically more thought independent than the other legions. Because the other legions just saw themselves as warriors. They were born and bred for nothing else but to fight and to die. The Ultramarines saw that the Ultramarines had a backup plan, and they continued to have backup plans because they are not stagnant. They keep moving forward. If someone were to get into Warhammer, what would be a good group to start with? I know this is cliche. I know a lot of the modern day 40k players hate it when people say this. Space Marines are the best way to get into Warhammer. Why?
Yes.
Let me show you.
Straightforward.
This is a Space Marine character. This is pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. These are easily paintable. There's tons of surface area to get used to painting them. This is an Imperial Guard character. Notice the tiny amount of detail. Notice all the stuff that I had to do to paint him. If you want to paint, starting with Space Marines, best decision you can do. Now, if you're just wanting to get into it for gameplay, Space Marines are the easiest to start out with, because their tactics are basically, they are good at everything, but they are masters of none. So they can do whatever you want them to do. You want a fast-hitting army? You can do it. Me, personally, I'd probably start with Tyranids or Necrons, because I like more complicated and thought-out armies. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can do that. If you want more complicated than just bolter fire, go ahead and do it. Do it. But if you're brand new to 40k, I recommend starting with Space Marines because they are very easy to understand. But the main rule of all the time that I will say, look at an army that you think is cool and pick it. The army that you think is cool and that you gravitate towards will always be the army that you will fall in love with. Now, one thing I am going to warn you guys about, though, do not go balls deep into Warhammer. Aramis, there's a bot.
I'll kill it.
What do you go out here?
My only downfall is painting. That's fair. When it comes down to...
It's down.
Yay, it's dead. When it comes down to it, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, here we go. Don't go balls deep. Do not burn yourself out. 40k is expensive. Pace yourself. Take it slow. Start with a starter box for that army. And then the next thing you're going to want to buy after that, slowly, is the standard troop, is the book, the codex for them. So that way you can play the game if you want to play the game. I haven't given GW any money, basically played on Tabletop Sim. That's fair. The book, you will need the book for them if you're going to play the game. You're also going to need the 9th edition rulebook. Because fuck investing that much. That's fair.
It's very understandable.
And it's going to get worse now because GW is raising their prices by 15%.
Oh, why?
Because they're stupid. Because all companies are stupid.
Late stage capitalism.
Yep.
How much arson do we need to reset it to the beginning again?
Nuclear Hellfire. Which we just got onto a conversation about. Either way.
Yep.
Warhammer is a hobby. But unlike Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, you do not need to buy the brand new set when it comes out. New models come out all the time. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
So you have the models. Assuming you take care of them. You should pick up. Did you ping out, boss?
Huh?
I thought you pinged out there for a second.
No, I was just dealing with a bot in the chat. But yeah, 40K is something that you need to take your time with. Don't go balls deep. Don't just go buying armies like my friend did when he started. He bought 3 armies within the span of 2 months.
I'm sorry, that could buy my car.
He blew $2,000 worth of money on 2 armies he doesn't even bother to play right now.
Yeah.
And you need to take that into account. Models are dissolvent. And even if I mess up even a little on painting, can't use accent because...
Acetone.
Acetone. Oh, just use Simply Green. Just dump them in Simply Green.
Yeah, it's Simple Green, my friend. Simple Green.
Just put yourself in Simple Green and you should be fine.
Only a light soak. So, don't leave them in there too long.
Yeah, because then the glue will come loose.
Yep, then you're just pretty much just going back to square one.
But yeah, like... pace yourself, don't jump in balls deep. Take your time with it. I probably do one army for a while until I want to do another one. Yes! Focus down on one army.
Good work, Shadow.
Do not divulge into another army, because that's just going to end up hurting you and your wallet. I have been in this hobby for like over a decade.
Ooh. Someone's got a good question.
What's up? What are you painting? I am painting a Chaos Chosen from the Eldritch Omens box.
Ooh. Sounds fancy.
I love these Chosen models. GW may be stupid when it comes to price hiking, But when they let their artists pop off, they let their artists pop off. I think Chaos has some of the sweetest looking models if you want demonic looking super soldiers. I love Chaos Space Marines and how fucking insane their models look. Like the guy I just showed earlier, this guy here. Oh my god. Please focus. Oh my god. Please focus on the fucking candlestick.
Focus in, focus in.
Look how insane this model is. He's got bone horns. He's got skulls. He's got the mark of chaos both front and back.
Woo! Fearless.
He's got a spine coming out of his armor. He's got 2 green tongues coming off of his exhaust ports. He's got a fucking skull all stuck in a helmet perfectly. I love how insane these models look. I love, like, just the blatant corruption and evil these models radiate. And the new Chosen models just look so fucking sick. I wish they would release, like, a separate box for them.
The individual chosen?
Huh?
The individual chosen?
Yeah. They don't have an individual box for them.
Huh. That just seems like a very clear scam.
Yeah, you just buy regular Chaos Space Marines and then you just use a different stat block.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's really fucking boring. And I'm a total sheep, and the second they would drop a Chosen box, I'm buying 3 of them.
Fair enough. Good to know you know yourself, at least.
Oh, I know myself very well. And my partner also knows me very well, and they will pace me. I also made this part of my job. I made my hobby part of my job. If only they weren't so fragile on tabletop, if only there were a simple rules change that could be made. What do you mean by fragile?
Yeah.
Are you talking gameplay-wise right now, or are you talking, like, model-wise? Because every plastic figurine model is going to be fragile.
In some way, shape, or form.
Some more than others, granted.
Yep.
Looking at you, Eldar. 1 wound. Ah, yes! The perpetual hell that I live in for my Chaos Space Marines. That every other Space Marine, including the Death Guard and Thousand Suns, are sitting at 2 wounds a model for their average infantry. Whereas Chaos Space Marines are stuck with 1. And our most recent FAQ update, i.e. the update they did to bring other armies into modern 40k rule sets, Death to the False Emperor now explodes on all armies, not just Imperial targets. I mean, that's good! It's too bad I won't survive long enough to get there!
Yeah.
Because my army's current rule set is still stuck at the beginning of 8th edition, and it fucking sucks to be us right now.
I was gonna say, that's gotta legit be
No, you know what's even worse?
unfair.
So, I wanted to do a TikTok about this, just to have fun with it. But, Eldritch Omens was released. And what GW is doing right now is that when they're releasing new codexes, they release a battle box with those books. So that way, like, they promote the armies and such. Like, oh, this set of books we're releasing recently is going to focus on, like, I'll use the last one as an example. Custodes versus Gene Stealer Cults. They released a box for that. Promoting both of those codexes. Giving players a box to split, because GW is painfully aware that no one is buying those boxes just for themselves. They are splitting it with their friends. Which is fine with them.
Is someone still paying for it?
And then the 2 books that came out after that box were the 2 books for those armies. Custodes and Gene Stealer Cults. They came in a window of 2 weeks of each other. Now, when you see Chaos versus Eldar, what are the 2 books that you would think would be coming out?
Chaos and Eldar.
Wrong, bitch! The answer was Eldar and then Tyranids.
What?
Right? The next book to be released at the end of March will not be The Forces of Disorder. It will be The Forces of the Devourer. Chaos is not getting their book till next month.
Really?
Hopefully. There's a running meme in the 40k community that GW hates Chaos. Yet we are supposed to be their big bad. We're supposed to be the guys like they need to put a painstakingly amount of effort into to make both intimidating and awesome, and you want people to play them. Because you do need a bad guy in 40k. You need an enemy where all the other factions can go, that's bad, we need to kill that. But Chaos has always had either no one looking at its rule sets when they're being developed, leading to a very stupidly overpowered army that no one can touch, or they're so heavily looked on that anything scrounging from like, oh, they can't move again, sorry, like that's way too strong, that's way too powerful, is immediately hammered down. Like, we become the most nerfed army in the world. Tyranids want to talk about being fucking picked on? Chaos has been picked on for multiple editions now. I want to hear nothing from the fucking bug boys in the back. Chaos literally only has Leviathan Dreadnought spam from the Iron Warriors keeping them afloat. No other Legion works right now. Sure, you could build a World Eater's army. You'll just get shot off the board. Or like, you'll be outperformed by Drukhari in close combat, or the recent Howling Banshees for the Eldar. You could try to outshoot Tau with Emperor's Children, it's just not going to work. Chaos is at a massive disadvantage right now. And until I see that codex and see what they have done, because the rumors so far are looking pretty good, and the sources have been reliable in the past, like the Iron Warriors being able to ignore enemy cover saves while also shrugging off armor penetration weaponry of 1 and 2, which is really, really good. Because that means that I can hide in cover, and you just can't hurt me. I'm just hiding there, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to dislodge me. Or, Wordbearer's aura abilities being extended because, like, they're preachers and everything. Now, we won't know till the book is out, but we've also had rumors that the World Eaters will not be in the book. That the Sons of Angron are going to get their own separate codex later down the line. Which means that we could possibly be seeing the return of another Primarch.
I'm sorry, did you say the return of a Primarch?
Yep. We could see the return of another Primarch. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Say, because a lot of them have been missing for a long time.
Well, we have Magnus, we have Mortarion, we have Guilliman back. And all three of them are pretty decent. All things considered, the problem is that, like, unless you bring them in a fun game, don't expect them to stay on the table very long.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you're going to look at a Magnus and a Mortarion, and you're going to say, that thing needs to fucking die ASAP. Because Mortarion is just debuff the character. Because if you are within 7 inches of him, you're just losing toughness, and toughness is kind of a major thing in 40k to make sure you don't get hurt. Like, on a 6-sided die, you could go from being hurt on a 3 to 6 to a 2 to 6 by just being near Mortarion. Along with the fact that Mortarion and Magnus both have insane casting.
You don't even want to be close to them in the first place.
Yeah, and honestly, I love what they did with Mortarion and Magnus' rule sets. Because in the game of Warhammer, there's a thing called Warlord traits. Basically, you make one very special boy your Warlord, and he gets a special rule slapped onto him. This could range from, oh hey, I give an extra attack to anybody within 6 of me, or hey, I can do a once per game thing where I can improve the armor penetration of all my guys within six of me. Magnus and Mortarion.
In this case, where it's just we attack first, regardless of combat it is.
Yeah. Chaos. Magnus and Mortarion get 3 Warlord traits.
Ooh.
I'll get to you in a second, Robot, because y'all need to stop bitching about that. Magnus, I know Magnus's rules. Magnus gets 3 Warlord traits. His first Warlord trait lets him have access to all of his spells. Every single last one of them. That is like me looking at a wizard in D&D and saying, you can use any spell you want. That's insane. He also has an ability that allows him to re-roll his Deny the Witch, so like just turning other people's powers off. And he gets to benefit from an additional buff from his army. And he also gets +1 to his invulnerable save. I just haven't played with or against him. Okay, so I've been playing with the Tau. I have been practicing with them. I've been learning them. You do not need to worry about the rail cannon. The rail cannon is the least worrying thing in the Tau army. Did you lose an invulnerable save against it? Do you lose an invulnerable save against one of its shots? Yes. But you know who's been able to do that for years? Chaos Space Marines have a psychic power that literally looks at you and says, you get nothing now. Yeah, is your knife gonna get fucking sniped? Yeah, it's gonna get fucking sniped. Suck it up, bitch. If your army goes down because of one knight being killed, that's your problem, not the Tau player's problem.
Yeah.
The problem stems from the Montka and Kaon special rules. Especially Montka. I played a 1,000-point game with my friend just the other day, on Tuesday. My list, I'm taking a break from this. I'm just going to explain this. My list ran 3 Breacher squads, 1 Commander and Enforcer battlesuit, with 3 Cyclonic Ion Blasters, a Cadre Fireblade, with Orum's Lantern just in case, 3 Devilfish, and 1 squad of 3 Crisis Battlesuits with 3 burst cannons each and target lock sensors on all of them. My opponent...
Okay, so all I understood was you were hitting everything all the time.
My opponent ran Cataphrons, which are the toughest models outside of the giant walkers that they have. I lost 4 models by turn 3. He was dead by turn 3. I had taken 4 casualties. He had lost 98% of his army. I bum rushed the field. Montka treats it as you have a better armor penetration when you are within a certain range. You also always count as having held still for that turn. So no matter if you ran, no matter if you advanced, no matter what, you can still fire. You can still shoot. I ran those Devilfish up the field. I then unloaded all of those Stormtroopers, spent a stratagem where they can get out and move, and then I spent another stratagem that allows all Breacher teams to re-roll all wound rolls and ignore your cover. Do you understand how bullshit that is?
On his backside.
And that was turn 1. That was turn 1. I had guys with guns that are at maximum 14 inches. And get better the closer they are. I was at 8 inches in turn 1 in front of him.
Yeesh.
That is bullshit. And I wiped out half his army in turn 1.
No mercy.
Boss. I want to hear fuck all that their Hammerhead gunships are the worst model in that army. I want to hear fuck all about it. I have seen the devil, and the devil looked at me and said, I give you 3 Devilfish with 3 of the most overpowered infantry units in the game right now. Like, even Eldar do not have enough firepower to compare to a squad of 10 Breachers staring them down and saying, good luck. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing the Hammerhead argument. Because it's very easy to shut Hammerheads down. Because there's plenty of buildings to block line of sight. There's plenty of stratagems and special abilities that can tell those Hammerheads to fuck off. I wasn't saying that. I think they have... No, they just ignore the invulnerable save by just shooting. Hammerheads do not have a stratagem. I have the book. It's not in my office right now. It's downstairs. But I have the book, and I read through it. They have nothing unless you are just a standard vehicle, and that's just to, like, help you reposition. or to treat yourself at a higher wound count than you already are. So, you want to know what I would take over 3 Hammerhead gunships any day of the week? The Breacher Squads with Devilfish. I'd take that over them any day of the week. Because I will get more out of Strength 7, AP -3, 2 shots each at damage 1, than I ever will from a single shot from 1 rail cannon. And that's a general Tau stratagem. I thought that was like in the leaks. No. You guys got to realize, they aren't, the things that you guys are worried about are the least worrying thing in the army. Do you know what Farsight Enclaves do? Farsight Enclave went from being the worst Tau army to now being the one every competitive player is going to. Because they get better armor penetration by just being near you, and add on to that, no, they get a single reroll wound roll, and they treat you as having a marker light on you when you are within 12 inches of them. The thing that makes them better at shooting, you do not need to run Pathfinders in your Tau army if you are playing Farsight Enclave. You do not need to run them. A unit that the Tau Empire solely rely upon for marker-like distribution is not needed in Farsight Enclave.
That's brutal.
That is insane. That is like me looking at Space Marines and saying, you don't need to run intercessors. Like, what the fuck?
God,
What's
how much
up?
power? Oh, God.
It's
Terrifying.
right here. What's up? Okay, love you. I'm just existing. I was really just saying I thought Mortarion was really tanky. He is. He's extremely tanky. But the problem is that when you are looking at the game from a competitive perspective, Mortarion is not that tanky. Yes, it will take an entire army to bring him down, don't get me wrong. But that's an entire turn that your opponent just wasted killing Mortarion. You still have a whole rest of your army to go do stuff with. Plus, with GW now making the rule that you can't soup armies, so, like, you can't bring, like, the Sisterhood of the Bloody Rose and our Martyred Lady together. You can't bring Cadians and Catacans together. You can't bring, Dark Angels and Space Wolves together.
That sucks.
It sucks, but it's understandable. They want to stop cheese, basically, because Sisters of Battle ruined it for everybody.
Okay, yeah, I can see kind of how that happened.
Because they would just bring Order of Our Martyred Lady and Bloody Rose and just tear up the battlefield, and it wouldn't be fun. Because they would just bounce off each other way too easily. Or like even Chaos. Chaos is guilty of this too. We would just bring Emperor's Children along with any other legion that we needed. It stops the competitive soup, and now competitive is very much more figure out how to run your army by itself. Stop using other armies to supplement your army's weakness. I like to call it, I like to call it the stop being a bitch rule.
That's one way to put it.
If you need an army to fix the problems of your fucking army, figure out something different with your army if your army can't do anything with it by itself.
I mean, I guess. Fair option.
If you were smart enough to break the game, then you're smart enough to figure that out. Fuck, orcs did it. And they didn't need the soup to do it. We got the flyer rules changed, bitch. And it's fucking fantastic. Boss, how can you be afraid of the BDSM Hero Squad and Lube when you did what you did to the moon? That wasn't my seed, bruh. That was me just paying off all those horse people. The people that, like, do that stuff for a living, the horse breeders.
Yeah.
You just don't tell them what you're using it for, they don't ask questions.
Yeah, they normally don't. Pretty standard operating procedure.
Also, I need to say something. A lot of people started furry hating in my comment section, and I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
I don't know where that came from.
Guys, furries aren't bad people. I have a few of them in my server. They are fairly average people, just like you and I. The only difference is that they're turned on by Robin Hood. They're turned on by anthropomorphic animals, which basically is just people with fur. Watching that TikTok with you mentioning lube and seeing both your personas looking so disturbed. There's just so much lube, dude. Like, there's a healthy amount of lube to have. What's up?
Was it petroleum or water-based?
Which is worse?
Petroleum. It's a lot harder without...
There's your answer.
Oh god, no. We literally had to clean that up then.
Yep. You know what started this? I follow an artist on Twitter, and one of the characters that he drew was like his superhero's OC basically being kidnapped by a villain, but being extremely into it. Like, the villain's like, this is the fifth time I've captured you in a week.
Scene. Oh, so the torture scene from Hazbin Hotel.
Pretty much. Oh, Daddy, yes. Excuse me? That's pretty much it. And I thought that was so fucking funny. Hence why I did it from the perspective of the villain, who's basically, like, upset that their torture was just used for someone else's pleasure. Fall Knight cheered 75. Oh, thank you, Fall Knight. But yeah, I thought that was stupid funny.
It is funny.
Because, like, Boss is clearly upset about it because he wasted a Sunday afternoon.
It's a waste of a Sunday afternoon, definitely.
He wasted a Sunday afternoon doing something he doesn't like to do on someone that enjoys it. By the way, Boss does not like doing torture. He, like, avoids it at all costs if he can.
I mean, sometimes we gotta act stereotypically. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta act like the stereotype. That's why we just put, like, the hero to, like, a steel board and just let the laser go and they figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Don't undermine the classics, kids. But, like...
of those Bond movies.
I'm saying don't hate on furries, they're not a problem and can remove you if you're the problem. Exactly. And I'm like, you guys these people make furries out to be such weird deviants, and they're not. They're remarkably tame. Sure, are there the
Half of people on Twitter.
Sure, are some of them like inflation fetishists and everything? Yeah, but guess what? Those have existed even before furries.
Yeah. Pre-internet days are weird.
Like, if you're gonna hate one, you gotta hate both. And even then, don't hate the furries for it, because majority of furries, average people. And most artists actually really appreciate furries because, like, they usually pay very, very fucking well.
Of course they do.
And they're usually the most patient people when it comes to art.
Yep.
A lot of my personal friends who are artists say, like, no, like, some of my best customers have been furries. And I stare at them like, you're not lying to me, are you? Hey, as long as furries don't make being a furry their only thing about them, I'm cool with them. What do you mean, like, what do you mean by that?
That is a very specific phrase there.
Like, that's kind of like a very eyebrow raising thing to say, Shadow. Like, what do you mean, like, that's their only personality? Because you can have toxic traits. You can be a boring person. Art takes time. It does. I swear these are just looping. They are looping. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just another way of people to unleash their creativity, especially in these trying times that allow a person to keep from going crazy. Pretty much. What's the difference between a boring person and a stable person? Is this a joke, or do you actually want me to answer?
Because I have a very different. Mine is definitely not family friendly.
If you want me to answer that question... Also, thanks for joining in, Poison. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. Okay, so the difference between a boring person and a stable person... A boring person is just someone... who... literally just bores you. Like, they have nothing to say... They have nothing to offer. They are just the embodiment of the thing that you fall asleep to. Now, a stable person is not necessarily a boring person. They are people who have their shit together. And do not need... And, like, they do what they do best for them, that works for them, to keep their collective shit together. Now, is there such thing as a truly stable person? No. Everybody has their off days, and everybody's going to have a day where they're just going to look you dead in the eye and say, don't be a fucking problem for me. I, relatively, am a very stable person to be around. Oh, but there are days where I am not stable. No one is ever completely stable. Now, a stable, like you're talking to them and they're making being a furry the only thing they talk about kind of thing. I'm sorry, boss. Okay, there was multiple ways you could have taken that. I'm very glad that you're just like on the side of the person that is very insecure about themselves and they don't know how to talk to people. I can understand how that gets annoying. I can understand where the worry comes from, and that these people are annoying. It's okay to be annoyed with someone. It's okay to look them dead in the eye and say, "You are fucking annoying me. Please stop." And if they don't stop, you have given them the warning. You have told them. You now have given yourself full range to just leave the conversation. What I mean by, like, what I was worried is that it's the same argument like, oh, they make being gay their whole personality. And that can be used in a very non-sexual furry. It is a trip talking to them. That's great. What I mean by that is like, I've heard that phrase used when it comes to, like, talking about gay people. Like, oh, I'm fine with gay people so long as it's not their personality. But that's inherently part of their personality. What you're talking about, Shadow, is that the person who is socially inept, they don't know what to do, so they just kind of make the RAR X3 their entire thing, because they don't know what else to do, because they've been conditioned by the internet to do that. He just really likes the whole alternate and safe personality. Oh, that's great. So it's not necessarily they make it their personality, it's a response to society.
Life is.
And they don't know how to react and do stuff in that society. I've met plenty of those people. And after you explain it to them, usually there are the people that slip through the cracks that are just like, you need like an exorcist or something, because holy shit. Those people are usually, they need to seek tons of help. But once you make it known that, like, hey, it's okay, it's okay for that, but, like, you're not helping your case by just, like, doing the kind of thing, you need to explain it to them that, hey, I want you to be around here, like, I want you here, but you need to tone it down. You need to just tone it down and take a breath, because not all of us are like that here. And
Off the cheese.
Just take it slow. I usually enjoy talking to a person that is enthusiastic about a topic or hobby, but when they crosses into becoming part of their personality, it becomes a problem. Yeah, that's the same thing, like, with anything. Like, if all I did was talk about Warhammer 40k, which it feels like I do a lot of. Oh, no, Shadow, that's why I asked you to elaborate. That's why I asked you to elaborate, friend. Don't worry. I fully understand where you're coming from. I'm not mad, don't worry. I was just asking you to elaborate. As for poison, yeah, if your hobby is the only thing that you can talk about, there is something that you need to address in your life. Like, for a while, all I could talk about was Warhammer 40k. Because Warhammer was my escape. It was my way of getting away from the world, my bullies, and my problems. But I let it consume me, and that became my personality for a while. I was just the 40k fan. And then after I went to therapy and started getting help, it started, I still love 40k. But it is no longer my obsession. It is my hobby. It is my healthy stress release from the difficulties of life. That is what I use 40k for. But yeah, no need to apologize, Shadow. You're completely fine. But, so, when it comes to someone making their hobby becoming their obsession, that is a point in time where you need to sit that person down and ask, is everything okay? Like, seriously, look them in the eye and try to get them to talk. You can't force someone to talk, by the way, but let them know that you are there for them and that you are worried about them. Because too much of anything is bad for you. Like, you need to have other outlets. it's not just 40K for me. It's cuddling with my partner. It's watching anime. It's talking with my chat here on Discord. It's playing other tabletop games like BattleTech, or going out of my way to find a new game that I like. Therapy is impossible for me in the States. He lives in the States. I fully understand that's hard in the States, because sometimes your medical, if you even have medical insurance, doesn't cover it, because they don't consider mental health to be a medical resource. So on and so forth. It's stupid. In America, I fully understand if it's hard to find a therapist. And there are public resources, Poison. But America has such shitty public resources that sometimes it's actually worse than helpful. Now, do not give up if one therapist is bad for you. Every person has a therapist they do not click with. And that is okay. Hey, as my friend put it, there is the doctors that graduate, you will never be able to tell if they are a C+ or an A+ doctor.
Yep.
Have you tried online therapy? Ooh, that's a touchy subject right now. But yeah, do not give up on therapy. Try to find alternative sources if you can, or find groups that you can talk to that are healthy, that do not place blame on others, and that do not go out of their way to look like they're helping you, but in reality they're just enabling you. Because that can be pretty bad. Yeah, it depends on the kind of therapy you needed. I needed counseling, essentially. I needed someone to talk to and to basically figure out what's going on with me as an individual. Like, why am I thinking this way? What is going on in my brain? Because, like, I was getting so many different sources of what was wrong. Like, I had people that were just like, oh, well, it's the 40K that's got you down. I'll just stick with destruction rooms then. Do what helps you, but at the end of the day, find someone to talk to in a healthy way. Okay. That was... Woo! That was some dark topics. So... if you are lost, feeling like an outcast, anxious, withdrawn, there is usually non-professional sources that can be helpful. Yeah, and... there will always be someone that you can talk to. This is not theory, but music can help too. Yeah. Like, sometimes when I'm just, like, feeling down and shit, I'll just turn on music and I'll listen to music for a bit. Lets me clear out my head while I'm trying to think about, like, what's wrong with me. And then after my head is cleared enough, thanks to listening to music... and by the way, it's not just like, oh, well, you should just listen to, like, this very special kind of music, because, like, any other form of music's just going to distract you. No, that's bullshit. Listen to music that you like and that you are comfortable to, because your brain starts working, because it doesn't have to process as much. It just knows that, hey, my favorite music's playing, I'm relaxing, now I can figure out what's going on with me. Journaling helps me. I call it brain dumping. I get all that shit out of there, and it really helps with clearing your head. Exactly! And now one thing, well, what works for one person will probably not work for you. Oh, which is why you got to experiment. You got to find out, like, your niche, what's going on with you, kind of a thing. For me, it's just public venting and public talking. I love running my goddamn mouth. And when I'm running my mouth, I'm able to just relax and talk about, like, what's going on and, like, what's going on with me. Like, today I was worried that, like, hey, I'm feeling pretty shitty because, like, I haven't done a lot today. Hey, because, like, today just felt extremely off, and, like, I didn't get a lot done today, and the video that I'm working on is a meme video, and when you're sitting here reading memes, it feels like you're just doing nothing but sliding through Reddit, but in reality, I'm still trying to find, like, good memes to voice act to, and then post on YouTube. And that can be a bit of a chore. Because I'm having to go through memes, which, by the way, generously given to me by my community. Thank you, boys and girls. And non-binary pals.
9 binaries.
And essentially, it's just me going through the memes and trying to find out which ones would be funny enough to put on YouTube. With my voice behind it. Cheese?
Yeah, no, Fall Night's going wild with the Discord again.
Oh, God. Why is cheese the meme of my fucking server? Why? Everybody else gets, like, haha funny noise. I get fucking cheese. I'm gonna have that fucking, what's his face from, fucking Oblivion pop up into my Discord and go, cheese, cheese for everyone. Just don't check the videos.
Who has to summon the Mad God?
Which one's the Mad God?
Sheogorath.
No! Fuck you! Do not bring that crazy bastard into my server.
But the Wabbajack!
I don't care!
Fair enough.
If I wanted to die, I'd ask.
Can we?
What was that?
We can't have Emerald finding out that we have the
Oh, God.
last.
Oh, God! She's here! Hi, Emerald!
Hey.
Don't stab me, please. Please,
That is just a definition of speak of the devil and he shall appear.
No. She was probably just, like, lurking in the background. She usually turns my streams on when, like, she's gaming and stuff.
She was waiting for her chance.
Oh, God, I'm scared.
We're all scared there.
Chat, so, this is Emerald. She's one of my moderators, well, admins on my server. Which, by the way, if you want to join, all you gotta do is go onto my Patreon, join the Patreon, and, you get access to my server with the, second and third tier. And you only have to pay it the one time to get in, so, yeah. But yeah, Emerald is one of my admins on my server, and has been one of my very good friends for, like, the longest time, and, there are some days where Emerald just scares me, because she's very powerful. And the meme is in the server is that she leads the alpha team of minions and such.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell I ended up on Alpha Team.
In reality,
I will
it's
show
just
you if that's how it is.
Emerald just likes people, and when she likes people, they basically become her family to her, and she will die for you, essentially.
I like to imagine at some point Professor gets interviewed for, like, sits down for an interview or something, and the lady goes, "So, what's it like being on Alpha Team?" And he just looks like, "Wait, Alpha Team? What? When did this happen?"
She holds the power of a Go mod. But yeah, Emerald is one of my closest friends, and I love her very much. Yes, you do scare me sometimes, Emerald, but that's mostly because, like, I know when we play a game together, you're just gonna look at me and say, "And now there's a bucket of lava above your head." Wait, is she the one who suggests kicking Superman in the balls? No, that's Farva. She's the one that encourages it.
Yes.
Ooh, I think my pizza's here.
But yeah, I love Emerald. She's great. She's a very good friend. And, like,
Oh no.
how me and her met is actually pretty funny. So, during the beginning of the pandemic, I was very much just starting out, trying to figure out, like, what to do, where to go, that kind of thing, and I'd recently just made my Twitter. And one of the artists that I was following on my Twitter basically said, "Hey, I'm opening up my Discord server for a limited amount of time. You got 30 minutes to jump in before I close this public invite." And I said, what the fuck, in for a penny. And I joined the server. And I see that they're allowing other artists to post in the server. So I'm like, oh, cool. I just start posting my models in that server. And then eventually, another guy by the name of Farva pops into the story, and he's basically just like, "Hey, you do some, like, really good art. Mind if I bring you into my server?" I respond with, "What?" And then all of a sudden, I'm in a different server, meeting tons of different people. And eventually, I was introduced to Emerald. And Emerald really liked my moxie. So she, basically grabbed onto me, said mine, and from there on, we've been best friends since.
Ah, so it's the exact same thing she did with Alpha.
Yes. And Emerald's a very wonderful person.
Hello?
Yes, Emerald, yes. Honestly, I would not trade our friendship for the world. There's a lot of people I would do that for. Or I would trade my friendship for the world for, and Emerald is one of them.
That's wholesome.
Love you, friend. Oh god, this group is going to be fun. You pass 2 vibe checks and she takes you. Pretty much. Some people don't need to pass vibe checks. Emerald just kind of knows people. And
Pass the check.
she just knows you're a good bean by just meeting you for the first time and just being like, "You're mine now." If you have not pissed Emerald, if you just are a good person, she just gravitates towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, I didn't stream yesterday, by the way,
Room too much.
because, I was
Or
running
read the room
D&D
too much.
Adventure League again.
Oh, what were you doing in the event?
Yeah, I am a DM for Adventure League. In my local town, at least. So I was running the campaign Waterdeep.
Waterdeep Heist?
Yep.
Oh.
So the party right now consists of a bugbear rogue, a human sorceress with dragon bloodline, and a dwarven storm cleric. And they were doing actually fairly well. The bugbear actually, I'm naming a year-long adventure in Theros, the Magic the Gathering. So awesome. So during this little escapade, the first mission is tracking a guy down because like he's gone missing and his friends worried about him. Bring him back in one piece, hopefully alive. The party manages to track the guy down into the sewers, where he's been caught in a state of mistaken identity. The bad guys basically thought he was someone else. And so they sneak into this underground place and find that 2 goblins are standing guard. And so the party's bugbear, knowing his culture, straight up just goes pecking order on them. Like, does like the thing where he comes out, he intimidates them, like, what the fuck are you guys doing here, kind of a thing. Like, scaring the gobbos and like making them fall in line and follow him. And they use that to get up to where the prisoner is. And they're like, yeah, nothing bad's gonna happen. We're doing so well. Open the door to the torture chamber. There's a mind flayer sitting at the other end of the room. And their faces go from happy, joyful, we've outsmarted the campaign, to we're so fucking dead. And the mind flayer basically instantly reads their minds and basically goes, what the fuck are you doing here? And the bugbear, being the bugbear, is just brutally honest and says, you literally have the wrong guy. And mind flayers are actually very smart. They're not wild with like their anger and such. So this mind flayer calmly goes over to the prisoner, grabs him by the head with his tentacles, because I need to extenuate